I'm attorney Phillip Jusino, and we're here in the chambers of the Honorable Patricia Filiberto, a county court judge. Good afternoon, Judge Filiberto.
Good afternoon. How are you, Phil?
Good. And for my listeners, Judge Filiberto and I go way back. I'm a former assistant district attorney, so is she. I was in the office in 89, 91. I know you were there quite a bit longer than I was.
Yes, I was there for about 10 years, starting in 1988, early 1988.
And how'd you like it there?
I loved working in the DA's office. It's the greatest place to work, to get trial experience, hands-on right away. So I had the benefit of trying many DWI cases, particularly cases with serious physical injury. I've also tried larcenies, drug possession cases, sex abuse cases. And I spent 10 years in the DA's office, enjoyed every one of those years. Half of the time I was in a trial part, and half of the time I spent in the Appeals Bureau.
A very different perspective.
Very, very different perspective, where you learn the potential errors that a judge can make on the bench that would cause reversible error. And so I had a very well-balanced training from the DA's office.
That's good. And when did you first become a judge?
I became a judge in 1997. I was elected in 1997 to the district court.
And I remember you were in the drug part for a while.
Yes, I served as the presiding judge of the Suffolk County Drug Treatment Court, which is an alternative to incarceration for persons who are addicted to substance abuse and who are preliminarily approved by the DA's office, so that the program is for the benefit of persons who truly are addicted to substance abuse and who are not drug dealers or persons who have a violent criminal background.
Right. And I appeared before you on many occasions, and I could tell you cared a lot.
Yes.
And that was an interesting part, because it had resources that the other parts, many of the other parts, didn't have.
We had a staff of approximately 20 people, which comprised social workers, probation officers, counselors, substance abuse counselors. We met with the participants and their attorneys every 2 weeks, sometimes more frequently, sometimes less frequently. And we involved ourselves in every aspect of their rehabilitation to help them not only get off the drugs, but also to reorient themselves into the community. So we offered them training programs so that they had job opportunities. It was really a very, very worthwhile program.
Good. And now in county court, you handle different types of cases. What are you handling now?
Presently, I serve as the presiding judge of the guardianship court, which is not to be confused with guardianship for small children. This is primarily for older adults who, because of a physical or mental disability, are no longer able to handle their finances, make personal decisions or healthcare decisions, and they need someone appointed as a guardian in order to prevent either financial or physical or emotional abuse.
And you're handling the bulk of those types of cases here in Suffolk County?
Yes, I do primarily about 95% of the guardianship cases in Suffolk County. And it's a very, very busy part, especially now that our baby boomers are entering their senior years.
I know, I'm getting close myself. Now, you're running for Supreme Court, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And what kind of cases would you be handling if you were elected to that court?
Basically, I would be handling the same kinds of cases, although I have the opportunity to be placed in a matrimonial part, and I've had experience in that area as well, or in any of the other parts that the Supreme Court handles. However, since the guardianship court is a very specialized area and the area of law, it takes a while to learn, I think I would basically be remaining in the guardianship court.
Good. Now, I know you're very active and have been for years in different organizations. I know the Columbian Lawyers, for one. What other organizations were you involved with?
Well, I was president of the Columbian Lawyers Association.
And so was my sister for a while.
Yes,
Lisa Calla.
Lisa Calla was a president, yes. And I've been president of the Confederation of Columbian Lawyers, which represents all the Italian-American lawyers throughout the state of New York, from Manhattan up through Rockland County. I'm a past president of the Suffolk County Women's Bar Association, and I've also been president of the District Court Judges Association and my alma mater, St. John's Law School Alumni Association.
Now, on November 3rd, we want people to go in and to select you on the Republican line, correct?
Yes.
And I believe you in Nassau, and you're running in Nassau and Suffolk. A lot of people don't realize, like family court and district court judges run in that particular either town or county. Supreme Court judges run, in this case, Nassau and Suffolk County, correct?
That's correct, yes.
So people in Nassau County would be able to vote for you, just like the people here in Suffolk County.
Absolutely.
And you're on, is it the top line? The Supreme Court judges are on the top line?
The Supreme Court judges, because this is not a presidential year, the Supreme Court judges will be first on the ballot line. So my name will be the first name that you see on the Republican line. Then after the Supreme Court judicial candidates, you will see in Nassau County the names for district attorney, and in Suffolk County you'll see the names for county executive.
Right. And it's a 14-year term.
It's a 14-year term, yes.
Okay. And county court was how many years? 10?
10 years.
Okay. And I just want to tell my listeners where they can find you. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Judge Patricia Filiberto. Also on LinkedIn, Patricia Filiberto. On Twitter, it's Judge Filiberto. And your website is www.judgepatriciafiliberto.com.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say to my listeners, I've been before you in district court. I've been before you in county court. You're an excellent jurist.
Thank you.
You have my support. And I think it's important, and I say this in my show a lot, that people should educate themselves. Because when you run as a judge, you don't have the same ability to tout your ideas and experience that a politician could. Judges are held to a different standard.
That's absolutely right.
So in other words, a politician could say, I'm going to lower your taxes, or I'm going to do this. Judges can't do that. Judges can talk about their affiliations and their experience and their education. So that's why it's important. Look her up on Facebook. Find out a little bit about Judge Filiberto, and you'll see that she's somebody that is worth voting for. Anything else you'd like to say to the listeners before we wrap this up?
Just that I've served as a judge for 18 years. I love what I do. I'm committed to the guardianship part and to the influence of justice throughout the legal system, whether it's as a criminal court judge or as a drug treatment court judge or as a guardianship court judge. I pride myself on treating everyone who comes before me with the same courtesy and respect that I would like.
And that is true. And I've always noticed you've always handled cases in parts that are not your run-of-the-mill part. Like in district court, it could be a D45, 47, where they're handling the run-of-the-mill petty larceny, DWIs, things like that. You've always been involved, and more involved, with the personal lives of these people, because I know in drug court, for instance, they're coming in to see you a lot. They get to know you a little bit, you get to know them. Here, when you're dealing in this part with people that have issues involving their health or guardianship, you're more involved than the average part. I know that, like, let's say out east, there are judges, and very good judges, that handle cases involving car accidents. And all it is about money in that particular case. But here, it's so much more.
You really have to be committed. It can be a stressful part. However, I find it very rewarding because you're helping people throughout their lives, and particularly in the guardianship court. Once a guardian is appointed, that's really the beginning of the case and not the end of it.
Right.
This court oversees the activities of the guardian all throughout the ward's life, the older person's life. And we involve ourselves, and we're available as a resource to the guardians and their lawyers for money matters, personal matters, health care matters. So we continually stay involved, and I enjoy particularly that aspect because it's very, very rewarding. We're all going to get old someday.
I can tell you do. I very much thank you for this interview. You're going to hear it tonight on my radio show, 103.9 FM. We're also going to put it on WLINY. And everybody get out there and vote November 3rd. That's Tuesday, next Tuesday. And look for Judge Filiberto on the Republican line. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thanks.